Howdy folks, welcome back to SnowRunner. I'm on the Smithfield Dam map with Frogs 1954 Peterbilt 351 Custom. Really nice looking truck. I know a lot of people are big Peterbilt fans. Quickly run through customization. I'll tell you right now, I did this once already, and then when I left the garage, it deleted the recording I was making. So you've got stock upgraded performance. There's no price on this because I've already had it on the truck. Stock, highway, or off-road. Stock, lifted, or lifted high. Because of the trailer I have sitting outside that I haven't told you about yet, I'm going to go with the lifted high in order to get the truck high enough for the trailer. The stock tires, BF Goodrich Mud Terrain TAs, are the best tire. You've got that one, that one, that one, and then one chain tire. And those are all dualies. Dualies, 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 dualies. And this is dualies also. It just doesn't say so. All the tire combinations are dualies. So I'm just going to leave these BF Goodriches on there. It comes with the best tires available for it. Unless you need chain tires, then you switch to those. Winch, there's no other option. Stock. Frame add-ons, not a lot of frame add-ons. That flatbed and that sideboard are the same as the other flatboard and sideboard down here. So you got a short flatbed, and you cannot put a saddle with the short flatbed. I was hoping you could, but the saddle goes up here and eliminates the short flatbed. So then you got a long flatbed. Oh, and by the, there would be a cost to every single one of these, but I already have them in my inventory. Look, I got 4 of those in my inventory. Van body add-on, maintenance frame add-on, sideboard bed, fuel tank, visor. Now I'll switch the screen around so you can see the visor. This was something I did not have in my inventory, and I had to purchase in the first attempt at doing this video. So I'll just install it now. And then you've got saddle high and saddle low. For my purposes, I'm going to do the saddle high. You do not have a loading crane, which makes me worry, you know, when I go out with a loaded trailer and don't have a loading crane, about tipping and not being able to put it back on. Visuals, you have nothing to do in visuals, and you have nothing to do in customization, so we'll go straight to colors. I'm just going to bounce through a few of these. That is a really pretty metallic brown, metallic red, really pretty. Metallic purple. That's kind of a plum. I'm colorblind, so don't yell at me if I get these colors wrong. And then you've got some plain, you know, blues, browns, greens. Ooh, I like that green too. I really like this one. I really like that one. I really like that one. And then you've got this one down here, which is just beautiful. And this one is actually exactly the same as this one. There's no change, despite the fact that the colors appear to be different. It just doesn't work that way. It's a solid color, whether it shows that it's multicolor or not, you get the solid color. I really like that, or the purple. I think I'll go with this one. And that's it, we're out of here. Now, if it cuts off, the video when I leave the garage, I'm going to lose it. And I'll have to come back and do this again. So I think I'm going to do is a little start and stop here. I don't know why it cut me off last time, but I'm not going to sit here wasting gigabytes explaining it. So I'm going to do a little start and stop here, and I'll come back. And we're back outside the garage. Give you a little side view. Now with that high suspension, you can see the tail end of the truck kind of ramps up a little bit, which is going to be good for the trailer that I have sitting over here. The reason I chose, I like the startup process. It's like a real truck where you have to, you turn the key to on, and then you wait for everything to initialize, and then you fire it off. Steering's a little wonky. The first time I took it out in the recording that I lost, I'm a little off, but let's see if it'll attach. Whoops, wrong button. Yep, we're good. Good to go. I was just starting to explain that I've been messing around with my steering sensitivity a little bit. Now you see why I chose the highest suspension. Because of the trailer I had sitting out here. I left this trailer out here from coming back after Amandra and doing those last 3 jobs. I was thinking about using this trailer, but I decided not to because it's just so freaking wide and so dang long. It can put 5 spots on it without using the step. But this high suspension makes everything ride level now. And the trailer has lots of clearance. I picked out a little route. Leave the all-wheel drive off until we need it. I think it might drive a little bit better without the all-wheel drive on. Not sure. I took that wide on purpose so the trailer, come on, now it was rolling on its own, screwing me up. So I could see the trailer coming around. Made it without going through the ditch. Took the tractor off-road a little bit, but I mean that's how you make wide corners with a truck. You go long with the truck so the trailer doesn't ride the curb if you have the room. There might be traffic at the intersection or something that you can't do that. Now this is what I was talking about with the steering. See how it wants to walk back and forth? Unless you get it wide open, then you can't see where you're going. Like that. So, personally, I would lessen the black smoke effect and maybe not make the steering so dang overly sensitive. That'd be my first couple of thoughts on it. You can't see through the smoke effect, and it's just really hard to steer. I mean, it just jukes back and forth from one side to the other all the time. We'll top off our 2 liters of 2000. I forgot to mention that in the garage. This thing carries 2,000 liters of fuel and has S fuel economy. So that means you can pretty much forget about fuel for like the entire region. Maybe not that much, but you know what I mean. Now, given the way this thing drives, we may not get as far as I wanted to in a 30-minute video. But this is what Smithfield Dam calls the long road. And it's got a couple pretty wicked spots on it. It's not a Mandra, but it's got some good mud. It's got some steep slants. Oh, I don't have all-wheel drive in yet. Let's try this with all-wheel drive. Ah, better. You see, even with all-wheel drive, it didn't just walk through it. It was a little bit of a challenge. Now, there's one of those sudden turns. I'm only about half throttle and just fighting to try and keep it straight on the trail. Now this is where this little really long trailer is gonna come into effect. I wouldn't pull it over that rock. It's catching on the rock back there. But if we back up, trying to get the camera view right here, and go a little wide, should be able to get it past. Ooh, maybe not. Now, I know ordinarily you wouldn't be able to knock the trees down. It's still catching on that rock. And that's nothing to do with the truck. That has to do with the trailer. But it would be nice if the truck had the snot to just pull the trailer over that obstruction. But we're going to do it a different way. in the interest of just getting on with the video, getting on with the review. Maybe there's always one way or another, or you could have winched out of it. But I know other trucks that would have just poured on the power and rode that trailer up over the rock. I'm speaking of other modded trucks, by the way, not vanilla. Whoa, that was a nice tip, and it did not go over. That got the left side wheels off the ground, and it did not tip over. Oops, accidentally hit the tree because I can't see through the smoke. Okay, let's change the view a little. If you've played Smithfield Dam, I'm sure you recognize this. There's another rock obstruction. And this is actually going to go across the river. It's let's do that again. Now watch the wheels get off the ground right there. Right rear and left front are making contact. And the trailer sitting level. So not a lot of suspension travel, I guess you would say. Not a lot of suspension travel. I noticed it as we were driving along. I didn't mention anything at first, but I noticed that there is not a lot of suspension travel as we were going through the whoop-de-doos and the bumps and stuff. A lot of times there were wheels coming off the ground. Especially when the trailer gets stuck in the rock. Oh, you see that? The whole thing is pulling the wheel. Don't get me wrong, I like the truck. But part of reviewing a new mod is, talk about the cons as well as the pros. I've mentioned that I would lighten up that smoke. Or not make it so intense. I would do something with the steering. See how just the front tires never stop going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Whoa, doggy, it's getting wild. Now there is a way to go around this big mud hole, which in my gameplay I use it every time. As soon as I discovered the route around this mud hole, I started using it religiously. You go up this hill. We'll try it out. And then you go past that, between the stump and the tree, through the guy's driveway, and then you're back on the road. See here again, see how the front end, that front wheel ain't touching. And as you go through that little ditch, tires are coming off the ground. This thing has no suspension track. Now I'm going through the mud because I want to see if it works, rather than taking the shortcut. And it made it like a champ. You know, I've never gone the long way around. Well, I think I did in the M134 when I was opening up the map. But the normal route is to the right. The reason, I'll point it out. Can you see the pointer? The reason this thing goes around that way, even though it looks like you go through some swamp and stuff, it's still not as bad as that big ass mud hole right here. That's a bad mofo. And we're gonna go through it. Which I ordinarily do anyways. Like I said, I rarely, if ever, have used that long period. I checked it out, you know, see what it is, see if it is easier. Even though it shows, you know, it looks like it might be harder than just simply going through this purple. All it really is. It is easier. I'll say that. The long way around is easier than taking this deep water. It's done. See, if you took the long way around, it wouldn't get done. Job. They give you instruments because they want you to stuff. But I have other trucks in my inventory that would routinely go through here without getting stuck. Doesn't mean this is a bad truck. Just say compared to inch yourself some of the components obstacles. That would be one. Right there on the left is where that long road comes back out. Immediately after the mud road. Let's try some of the low range cars. the tree gave way. Little tree gave up, and when those trees have a timeout feature, it'll only hold it up for so long, and then it times out, it disappears, and it lets you move on. So if you just wait it out a few seconds, 20 seconds or whatever it is, then it'll let you go. Oh yeah, that was the road to Highland Lake. I want to just go, I want to see it do more swamp. We're at about, coming up on 20 minutes. And there's that steering. Let's see what it opens. We're back after a nasty interruption. I will edit that part out. But 20 minutes into our drive here, and it was exactly 20 minutes, very foul language rap song started playing. And I just can't have that in my video, so I just stopped recording. Exited the game and came back. There the trailer was on, you know, a little bit of a lean, and it didn't go over. Came back and started up. And no more disgusting music now. Let's see what it does on this hill. Go to the right without tipping anything over, and there we are. Ooh, look at those wheels off the ground. Oh, come back here. There's that steering issue popping up again. You can't really tell when you're off-road. When you're in the mud and whatnot, you know, you're doing a lot of steering. But when you're trying to follow like a curvy paved road or whatever, that's when it pops up. Like if I tried to go across the dam here, the steering would be doing all sorts of shit. Some modders will put in what they call a magnetic attraction. Having trouble pulling that trailer over an obstruction. Now, let me repeat, this is a super long, super wide trailer. And it made the turn. That's what truck drivers do. They reverse until you back up until you hit something. I drove semi for 25 years, so I can joke about it. I'm allowed. I'll take a print screen of that. Looks nice. I wanted to see it in the dark, see what the lights look like. Looks good. Looks good. Let's get rid of this trailer. It's way down toward the bottom. I have a lot of trailers. I have a wide selection of trailers. There we go. Sell it. Cargo will be lost. That's fine. I just want to be rid of it. Alrighty. There we go. Let's make it daytime. Oops. Almost did something very wrong. Almost pushed the wrong button. There we go. All dirty. Get a screenshot like this. And then say thanks for watching. And we'll see you next time.